It's Saturday morning, November 24th. I'm in Prescott Valley, Arizona. My Jeep has death wobble, and it has been happening on and off for a few months now, usually triggered by hitting a bump at 45 miles per hour. Well, now it's at the point where it just happens at 45 miles per hour without hitting a bump. So it happened 3 times on the way out of town, and I just needed to do something about it. So I stopped at Firestone, which is the first place I saw in Prescott Valley, and they're taking a look at it. But it's really bad. It's something that I was hoping to put off until after the holidays. I don't think that's going to happen. It's Saturday afternoon, and I just left the Firestone in Prescott Valley after having a really positive experience. They gave me an oil change, a tire rotation, and they believe they have found the cause of my death wobble, which is a worn joint at the end of my AEV drag link. Now, AEV is an aftermarket component, so they weren't able to source a replacement. They buttoned me up and sent me on my way, but they're very courteous and very professional, so I'm happy. And now I know what needs to be replaced. What a beautiful valley outside of Mayer, Arizona. Still Prescott National Forest. Someone has a dome tent set up in the valley. That was awesome. The kid in that passenger seat was having a blast. I need to follow suit with the tent thing, though. It's starting to get late. Do you remember a few weeks ago, and I found my drag link was loose on that BLM road? That's the same part that that Firestone identified to be the problem. Maybe it just needed a good tightening, because I haven't experienced death wobble since I left Firestone. What I do to keep myself entertained on the average night if I'm not outside enjoying the campsite. Well, first and foremost, if there's cell service, that's a treat. It keeps me connected to friends, family, and pretty much everyone, and I like that. I'm offline plenty. TV and movies. I have Netflix. iPad games. I'm not too much of a gamer. I love games, but I tend to cling to one game and play only that, and for a long time it's been Fallout Shelter, so that's what I'm playing now. Oh, I also spend a lot of time studying maps on Gaia GPS. I just look at nearby routes, nearby terrain features, nearby cities, and loosely construe an itinerary. Here's where I was last week for Thanksgiving. That's Prescott. And here's the Firestone today, and then today I drove all the way down here and re-entered the National Forest down here. So from here I'm going to go straight south following this route, and that will take me to the town of Crown King. A frosty 29 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. Again, probably around 60s, almost 70s during the day, and extremely cold in the morning. A rustic old cabin on public lands that I spotted from the forest road. I have that same blanket. Very cool. If only walls could talk, right? I'm on Senator Highway. Yep, highway, heading southbound to Crown King, Arizona. Beautiful views of rolling mountains all around. I did not make it to Crown King. I made it about 10 miles since this morning and stumbled upon this really nice campsite. I figure I'll make myself at home for the rest of the night. It's 1 p.m. and then in the morning I'll continue to Crown King, which is about 8 miles away. I didn't want to get to Crown King today and not have enough time to enjoy it. Honestly, I don't even know what's there. So, yeah. I very, very seldom use my hammock. Even today, I'll probably only spend 15 minutes in it. Just that these trees are kind of asking for it. I mean, look at them. Just a little bit ago, a Fuso-based earth cruiser drove by on the road over there, and it was awesome. I didn't have the camera out at the time, unfortunately, but it got me thinking. A little more living space would have a profound effect on the longevity of my journey. There'd be trade-offs though. A vehicle of that size wouldn't be able to squeeze down a lot of the roads that I take the Jeep, so that's a factor. And also it's cost prohibitive. But man, the living space. I could do it. I would do it if I had the means. I was thinking, which is kind of dangerous, I think I have an idea for a camera angle thanks to pronghorn and Tembo Tuscatl leg. Stopping at this campsite earlier in the day was a good call. I don't know why, it just spoke to me, but it's a nice spot to settle in. I made a fire. I spent maybe 5 minutes on the hammock. It's chilly tonight. It's probably about 15 degrees colder tonight than it was last night. But it's 6:30 p.m. an early night. I'm just going to do my iPad a little bit and get some rest. Monday morning, I'm going to head onward to Crown King before coffee. I'm going to see what the coffee situation is in town and then maybe make my own there. I'm in Crown King, Arizona, which is a wilderness community nestled in the heart of Prescott National Forest. And it's pretty off-grid. It reminds me a lot of a place like Terlingua, Texas, or where my uncle lives in Germantown Landing, British Columbia.
Go on back, look.
A bear.
Yeah. Got to the trash can, ripped the door right off.
This is a smoked brisket cheesesteak sandwich. Looks really good. That was Crown King, a very popular destination for ATV enthusiasts, being right in the center of the National Forest. The saloon was an absolute highlight. I met the owners, Lori and Casey, and they were very nice, very accommodating. The food was delicious, and so was the beer. I'm looking forward to going back. For now, it's 2:00 p.m. I'm just going to find a campsite not far from town and settle in for the night. Alright, this is my campsite for tonight, just outside of town. It's nice, but it's right up against the forest road, so if a vehicle goes by, I'm bound to get hit by a plume of dust. That's okay. It's convenient, there's cell service, and I'm just going for utility tonight. Gonna get a good night's sleep, and bright and early in the morning, keep pressing south. Yes. It's Tuesday morning, November 27th, and I am going to make coffee, break camp, and then head toward Black Canyon City, Arizona, where I plan to visit their library and catch up on some work. Wow. Good morning, Arizona. Cleator, Arizona is a dot on the map at the bottom of the mountain from Crown King. Unexpected gem, really cool looking. I pulled over at the side of a BLM road to change my t-shirt and put on some deodorant, and I was right by that bridge. I looked down and I saw this amazing grassy valley with the stream. This is so beautiful. This is what I was saying about Arizona last week. It's so diverse. It seems like every time you crest a mountain, the landscape changes.
The fallen. It's kind of been suspect by mistake.
Okay, that's right.
So you have two at home.
Tuesday night, Bloody Basin Road in Agua Fria National Monument. My tires are rock hard, and that will not stand. I do not abide. I'm in Tonto National Forest along Bloody Basin Road. I pulled off onto a spur on a flat spot. It was a calculated decision because I saw on the GPS the contours get kind of dramatic going on. Plus, out here in the flat spot, I have strong cell service so I can watch Netflix tonight. It's Wednesday morning, around 7:30 a.m. Let's go see where we're at. Even though I'm not a fan of trying to find a place to camp in the dark, I do rather enjoy waking up and seeing my surroundings for the very first time. Wow! Still looks like fall in some places. I'm heading toward the Verde River, about 10 miles of forest road still. Oh man, this campsite. I don't intend to stay here, but I'm definitely marking it on my GPS. This is beautiful. Sheep Bridge. It's a pedestrian footbridge over the Verde River in the middle of the desert, and it's a bit of a colorful oasis. My friend Brian recommended this spot during Thanksgiving dinner, and it's awesome, well worth it. I'm going to settle in for the night and make myself at home here. But before I do anything else, I'm absolutely famished. This is Brussels sprouts, potato, and I'm going to cut up some turkey and put it in there too. This is perfect. Oh, the Jeep has not wobbled since I left Firestone last weekend, and it's Wednesday afternoon. So I really think that the core problem to my death wobble was the fact that that rod end, that joint was loose. It wasn't that the rod end was shot. I know it's getting there. It does seem a little bit worn, but it's not dire. So they tightened it up, sent me on my way, and I haven't had a problem since. That's a wear and tear item, so it's a specialty AEV component, but just like an original equipment tie rod end, prone to wear and tear. So it is something that I'm going to have to get directly from AEV or at a four-wheel drive shop if I need it. It has been too long. Okay, you're coming with me somehow. After last week's episode where I expressed my conflicted feelings about do I want to continue this journey or do I want to settle down, I received a ton of wonderful feedback, constructive and also eye-opening. But I'm still trying to figure this out. I got a message from one supporter who suggested that I need to find balance, and there it was in a nutshell. I don't think I can afford an Earth Cruiser. I got this space ice cream as a gift from my good friends Hadley and Bailey from Family Adventures Overlanding. Thank you, it's delicious. It's just like the real thing. Wait, it is the real thing. It's just preserved by science. Since tomorrow's Thursday, I'm going to need to do some scouting for internet access and find a good place to publish this week's episode. I'm looking at Carefree, Arizona, which is right outside of Phoenix. It looks like that is the first town that I come to, and it's close to the National Forest, so I can just go back there at night to camp. But I'm still pretty deep in the forest, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. I'm going to have to leave first thing. Last year I saw the tall cacti for the first time from the highway when I drove through Phoenix, but this year is the first time I've actually been up close, and they're enormous. It's Thursday afternoon, and today I went into Carefree, Arizona and Cave Creek and found a really nice library where I can publish this week's episode tomorrow. And then I came back into Tonto National Forest, and I'm now at CCC Campground, where I plan to spend the night and call it a wrap for this week. I want to give a shout out to my friends Lauren, Brian, and his wife Amy. They're local to the Prescott area, and they're the ones who suggested that I go to some of these places this week, including Crown King and Sheep Bridge, all of which have been absolutely amazing. In fact, I have a ton of footage, so I'm going to start editing tonight, I think, get an early start. But as usual, thank you guys for following along, for your support, and I'll catch up with you again next Friday.